Hi, this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles, coming at you with another toy comparison. This time we're taking a look at the Star Wars The Force Awakens Kylo Ren, and we're comparing the 6-inch black series versus the 3 3/4 inch traditional series. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll take a close look at each figure. Alright, so comparing these two, because these are the two real big Kylo Ren figures that came out. Now they also have like an armored up series, which I may add in a comparison a little bit later. But these guys are, the two that most people wanted, specifically the black series. And, for obvious reasons, the black series, the main best points of the black series are the size and the articulation. That's what I hear most people talking about. And they're exactly right. So the 6-inch figure, because it's bigger, obviously it's going to get a little bit more of detail and the articulation. You can't even compare the articulation. I mean, this has like 5 points articulation, and this has a ton. I mean, the head moves, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the legs, the knees, the ankle has 2 different pivot joints. I mean, much better articulation with that. I mean, there's not really a comparison that's fairly can be made. And then obviously they spent a little bit more time as far as the materials they made it. This guy does have the cloak, and it looks absolutely phenomenal compared to just the plastic that we have with the smaller one. The cloak looks absolutely phenomenal on the 6-inch black. I mean, you can see it just looks flowing and stuff. My one gripe with it is that every single one I've seen of this, the hood sometimes can be, because of the way it's packaged, can be a little bit off, and it's hard to get the way you want it. And sometimes it won't sit on his head correctly, and then obviously this guy's just, he's set in stone. He looks really menacing. He looks great. And I will say with the detail, when you look at the cloak, they did a good job with what they had, putting the detail into the plastic to make it look like the cloak. I mean, all this detail you see here is actually molded into the plastic. So I mean, as far as the detail and what they went through, I mean, you could see the belt is the same. You could see the ridges in the arms. I mean, they did a great job with what you see with the boots coming through. They're definitely shiny, like his boots are shiny. They definitely, with the little figure, they put as much care and love as they possibly could into the figure, as well as in the back. Now, obviously, he has 2 different, materials. He's got the plastic and stuff, but you can see, I mean, the molding and the way they did this, it's almost even down to the ripples and the way it's folded on his shoulder. They're almost identical. Now, obviously, this is a little bit more of a rubber, and this is like more of a softer plastic. But you can see, like, his hood is just on him perfectly the way it's molded, and it's kind of bouncing. You can pull his hood down. I do enjoy that. I don't know if it's something we're going to see in the movie, and you can see the very Vader-esque mask. I do like that. I don't know if that's going to be something they're going to actually show in the movie or not. But I think that's a really neat touch, and the Armored Up series version of Kylo Ren doesn't have his hood on his head, so I don't know if that was just meant for putting the armor on him, or if that's actually something we're going to see in the movie. And then the next comparison, and probably the last comparison, obviously, is going to be the lightsaber. This lightsaber is obviously bigger. You can obviously take off the blade as well, which is a nice feature. but I don't like the way they molded this, where it's like this, the cross hilt has like the blade kind of like stretched on it. I don't like that. I much rather have this lightsaber. I think this one is much better as far as the way it was done. And I'll pull this guy off to show you. You can see how, you know, it's just coming out of the sides right here, and then as opposed to the top. Now this is not painted as well. It's more of a silver, and this one's more of a dark gray, and I'll show that, as well as they definitely put more detail into this guy. You can see there's like even like a little red little admission point at the bottom. So I don't know if that's going to be something we're going to see in the movie, but you can see what I'm talking about, where it's one piece like this. And that's probably my biggest gripe with, you know, the figure is I don't like the lightsaber and the way they did that. And they are making a Kmart exclusive one that's him in the snow, which I believe is the Starkiller base one, which will come with a base that can attach to the Finn character, so you can have them do their lightsaber duel. And the pictures they show of that, and if I can pull one up, a picture of that, I'll put it up in this video. You can see that the 6-inch black version of that does not have this type of lightsaber. It has one that's molded like this. Now I don't know if that means that the blades and these side things will be detachable or if it'll be one solid piece, but I'd much rather prefer that for these figures. Now, as a final comparison, what would I recommend to anybody? It really just depends on what you collect. Now, as far as the 6-inch guy, without a doubt, this is a much better figure. You know, the detail is much better, mostly because, you know, the articulation, the different materials, it's actually got a real cloth cloak. But, I mean, as far, and they went a little bit more into depth in the detail because they could, because it was a larger figure. The little guy, still a great figure, still great detail. I mean, you can see the detail on the mask. It's just, they're both very, very well done. It's just they have more, they can go into more specific detail because it's got more plastic to work with. But overall, this is a much better figure. The issue with that is price. The first thing with price is this guy's about 20 bucks. This guy's about $7 to $8. So that could be a big, you know, turning point for different people. Also, and one of the things where I actually lean to like this guy a little bit better is I've always been a 3 3/4 inch collector since The Power of the Force 2 and Episode 1, 2, and 3. Those are the sizes they kind of had. And, you know, since they released the Black Series, they have been going through and they have been redoing different characters and stuff, but it's nothing I've never really collected a ton of because I have most of my stuff in this scale. And it goes with everything. So, I mean, with my kids, that they want to play with these things, I have the vehicles, I have all the figures. So, I mean, I kind of tend to prefer this guy compared to this guy, just because I don't have enough of these guys for any, you know, for any kind of display. But it is overall a much nicer figure. But once again, this has been Jason with Filer Comics Collectibles. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.